Well, good morning. It's another nice, non-humid...
While we're standing on the corner of Winslow, Arizona, Altoona, Cheyenne, or down in Punta Gorda. And if your RV needs some minor repair, Dave will give you tips down at Camp Sinclair.
Well, good morning. It's a nice day in Northwest Tennessee at Camp Sinclair. It's going to be about 80 today, low humidity. It's going to be a good day. Today what we're going to do is, this is an in the shop episode, and what we're going to do is we're going to hook up a solar panel, not up on top, but this is just to supplement the batteries while we're boondocking and that sort of stuff. All we're wanting to do is just kind of keep the generator from coming on now and then. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a 100-watt solar panel where we can set it up outside someplace, and we're going to hook a Renogy charge controller up to it and see where we go from there. So the first step is, let's look at the batteries, and we'll make sure that they're full of water, and we'll top them off and show you the system they have. It's pretty nice, so let's get to it as down the road we go, in the shop, working on the motorhome and the solar install. Well, this is the first step in setting up a solar for the motorhome. We're going to start out small and then probably go bigger from there, but we just want to get something set up to keep the household batteries charged while we're sitting in the middle of the desert this winter, at least during the day, and then the generator can run at night, but that way I don't have to run a generator all day. So what we're going to start out with is a 100-watt solar panel. It has connectors on it. We have a cable that has connectors on one end. Now we're going to have to put connectors on the other end, because once we set up the charge controller to the battery, that's what these cables are in here, then we're going to make like a little jumper from the solar controller out to this cable here. That way we can pull this out of the underneath and set it about 15-20 feet away. Any way we want to set it so we can catch good solar. And then this cable will connect in here all the way to the pigtail that will drop out the bottom of the battery compartment. It's got a hole down there, so it's perfect. So we'll have everything set up. We just drop that down and out. The only thing we need is we need a cutoff switch, which we have someplace. We just got to find it. So the things we need to order are, we need to order enough connectors, solar connectors, to make a jumper out of this. So we just need one more set of solar connectors. So we're gonna have to get those on order today and go from there. We can go ahead, the next step, and set up the charge controller. Right there, we can attach that at least to the battery and the cutoff switch. So we'll have to find a cutoff switch first. Let's start out with what we have. We have 4 6-volt batteries. They're, flooded batteries, so you have to add water to them every once in a while, and so that's what we're going to check on. The first thing is we're going to make sure that this is working. What we have is this set up here. We take the filler and we put it in some water, which is distilled water, and then it'll pump. We hook it up to this connection right here, and then that'll fill the batteries up when we pump. Then we just disconnect. So we'll go ahead and start that right now and get this all topped off, and that's the first step in setting anything up on your solar. Okay, we'll start out by taking the cap off. This goes down into the water. This is your quick disconnect that goes on over in this connection over here. So what we do is take the cap off, slip that on there, and then start pumping. And you need to do this about every 2 or 3 weeks, I think. You pump till you can't pump anymore. So it's full now. It didn't take but 1 or 2 little small pumps to get it full. And now all we do is disconnect it. Put this cap back on here. The batteries are good to go. drain the water back into here. Okay, that is done. We've got the batteries all full of water, so everything's good to go. We just got to start hooking stuff up, so let's get at it. Okay, here's the components we're going to be working with on our small solar install. This is a used panel. Somebody gave me 3 or 4 of these things, so I'm going to put them to good use. It's 100 watt, and we have the Renogy controller, the brake control, or the charge controller. We have the Bluetooth module for that, the cables to hook it up to the battery, and we also have in this packet down here is a temperature probe, so we can hook all that up to this charge controller. We can keep track of the temperature of the batteries and their charge through our phone. So what we're going to do first is figure out where we're going to put it. Okay, more than likely we're going to mount everything right here. It'll screw in real nice, and then we can get the wires hooked up where they got to go. So we'll go ahead and get that done. So we've gone ahead and mounted the charge controller and 100 amp cutoff right there. We'll use that just to cut everything off. And now we need to find a place to put the Bluetooth module, and we'll go from there. Okay, I've got this in right now, and it's attached to the batteries only, and it's green. So we have to set it up, but before we set that up, let's make sure that, yep, the cutoff works. So the next thing is we're going to put the Bluetooth module on there, and then we're going to make sure that it is not green, but red, which would be flooded, which is what we've got. Okay, we got the solar charger set up as flooded, which is red. That light there indicates that it is flooded. And then you have the battery next to it, so we know we got a good connection. Now all we got to do is run the solar connections. All right, the panel and the batteries are hooked up, and it's in charge state as we speak. All I have to do is, there's a hole down here, and that's where those are going to go out, the quick disconnects. But now we're going to see if we can get the app to work on Bluetooth and see what it's doing. While we're downloading the app, we notice that the green light is on the Bluetooth, so it's transmitting. So we just have to get it downloaded. We haven't figured out where we're going to put this yet. There's a lot of cord there. I don't want to string it all the way up front. I don't think there's enough to do that anyway, but we'll mount it up in here someplace where we think we might be able to get a hold of it with our phone and keep an eye on it. So we're still downloading. Once we get it downloaded, we'll start it up and take a look at it. Well, it's all working. The PV voltage is 13 volts, PV current 3.87 amps, power generation 0 kilowatts, watts is 50 watts. The battery voltage is battery voltage is 13, battery charging current 3.87, and the battery temperature is 77 degrees. Of course, I don't have that temperature probe hooked up yet. I have to still get ends for it because it didn't come with the ends that plugs in there. So we'll have to look that up and see what we can do about that. That way we can hook this up when we're out in the middle of the desert or boondocking somewhere and not have to run a generator, I hope. Well, once it's topped off, I'll know more, because we can give it a try. Right now it's, let's see what this back screen is. Okay, it's charging, showing it's charging 50 watts at 3.87 amps. Not bad. It's just laying on the ground in the back here. The sunlight's out, not hitting it directly, so, but everything's working. Outstanding. We're gonna let this sit for a minute and see how it does, and then put it up, and that project's done. Thanks for watching Down the Road We Go. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and don't forget to subscribe and make sure you click the little bell so you get notified every time a new episode comes out. Thanks again for watching Down the Road We Go. selfie stick, so we're out there a little bit farther, so we're not up right up in your face. So let's get it going today.